Imagine an entire Roman legion, thousands of trained soldiers, vanishing from the pages of history. No triumphant return, no detailed battle report, not even a clear record of defeat. Among the many mysteries of the Roman Empire, few are as gripping as the disappearance of the Ninth Legion Hispana, a force that helped conquer Britain and then seemed to dissolve into legend. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the bell to stay updated with our latest videos. Did these hardened warriors meet their end in a bloody revolt, march away to another frontier, or simply fade into administrative silence? 2,000 years later, historians are still piecing together clues. The Ninth Legion was one of Rome's most celebrated units. Originally raised by Julius Caesar during his campaigns in Gaul, it fought across Europe before being stationed in Britain around AD 43, when Emperor Claudius launched the Roman conquest of the island. For decades, the Ninth held a key role in maintaining Roman rule over a land of fierce tribes and challenging terrain. Their headquarters at Eburacum, modern-day York, placed them at the northern edge of Roman control, facing restless tribes like the Brigantes and the fearsome Caledonians beyond Hadrian's future wall. The legion's reputation was forged in hard fighting. They battled the Iceni under the legendary Queen Boudica during her massive revolt in AD 60 to 61, when British tribes nearly drove Rome off the island. Archaeological evidence from Camulodunum, Colchester, and Londinium, London, still bears the scars of that uprising. Though the Ninth suffered heavy casualties, it survived and continued to police the frontier for another half-century. Then, sometime after AD 108, the records fall eerily silent. The mystery begins with the Legion's last secure mention in Britain. An inscription in York dated to around 108 CE, during the governorship of Quintus Pompeius Falco. After that, the Ninth disappears from British documents. Later lists of Roman legions omit it entirely, and no official record explains its fate. Ancient historians like Tacitus, Cassius Dio, and Herodian, normally eager to recount dramatic defeats, offer no story of a catastrophic loss. This silence sparked centuries of speculation. One popular theory holds that the Ninth met a violent end in Britain. Around 120 CE, Rome faced growing resistance in the north, particularly from the Picts of modern Scotland. Some scholars suggest the legion marched north to suppress a rebellion and was annihilated in an ambush, its destruction so humiliating that Rome suppressed the news. Supporters of this theory point to later construction of Hadrian's Wall around 122 CE as evidence that the northern frontier had become dangerously unstable. Perhaps the wall was not only a barrier against tribes, but a memorial to a lost army. Archaeology offers tantalizing hints, but no smoking gun. Excavations at sites like Vindolanda and along the Staingate frontier show signs of intense military activity and sudden rebuilding around this period. Inscriptions honoring fallen soldiers and scattered graves suggest conflict. Yet no mass grave or clear battlefield has been found to confirm the annihilation of an entire legion. For an army of roughly 5,000 men, such silence is puzzling. Another theory moves the mystery far from Britain. Some historians believe the Ninth was simply transferred to another hotspot in the empire after 108 CE. Roman legions were often redeployed, and evidence exists of the Ninth's name appearing later in the Netherlands and along the Rhine frontier. A tombstone in Nijmegen references officers connected to the Ninth around 120 CE, suggesting at least part of the unit may have served there. If the legion left Britain quietly, its later disappearance might have occurred in continental Europe, perhaps during one of the many uprisings or campaigns in the east. One candidate for their final battle is the Bar Kokhba revolt in Judea, 132 to 136 CE, a brutal Jewish uprising that claimed heavy Roman casualties. Another possibility is the Parthian Wars in the east, where legions sometimes vanished in catastrophic defeats. The Roman army often rebuilt or renamed units after disasters, complicating the trail. The Ninth could have been merged into another legion or disbanded without fanfare, its veterans quietly reassigned. The legend of the Lost Legion captured the imagination of later generations. Medieval chroniclers wove tales of ghostly Roman soldiers haunting the mists of Scotland. In modern times, the mystery inspired novels and films like The Eagle of the Ninth and Centurion, which dramatize heroic last stands against barbarian hordes. These stories, while thrilling, often oversimplify the complex administrative and logistical realities of the Roman military. What makes the disappearance so intriguing is not just the lack of evidence, but what it reveals about the limits of imperial control. The Roman Empire prided itself on record keeping, yet even its meticulous bureaucracy could lose track of a legion. Whether destroyed in battle or quietly reassigned, the Ninth's fate reminds us that even the most powerful institutions can leave gaps in history. Wars, politics, and human error can erase entire chapters, leaving only fragments for archaeologists and historians to interpret. Recent discoveries continue to fuel debate. Excavations in York have uncovered barracks and inscriptions, suggesting a sudden change in military occupation around the early 2nd century. At Nijmegen, archaeologists found artifacts indicating the Ninth's presence after its supposed disappearance from Britain. Scholars now lean toward the idea that the legion was transferred rather than annihilated, but the final destination remains uncertain. Each new find adds a piece to the puzzle without completing the picture. The story of the Ninth Legion is also a window into the turbulent relationship between Rome and Britain. The conquest of the island was never easy. Geography favored the defenders, dense forests, rugged mountains, and fierce tribal warriors who knew the land intimately. Even after decades of occupation, revolts flared repeatedly, forcing Rome to invest enormous resources in fortifications and garrisons. The Ninth's disappearance, whether in battle or by redeployment, highlights the constant tension between imperial ambition and local resistance. For the people of Roman Britain, the fate of the Ninth may have carried symbolic weight. To native tribes, the vanishing of a mighty legion could have been seen as proof that Rome was not invincible. To Roman settlers, it was a reminder of the empire's vulnerability on its distant frontiers. Hadrian's Wall, stretching 73 miles across northern Britain, stands as a lasting testament to these fears, a stone boundary marking the limits of Roman power. Today, visitors to York can walk among the remains of Roman walls and imagine the soldiers who once patrolled the northern edge of the known world. Museums display altars, weapons, and personal items left behind by men of the Ninth, each artifact a silent witness to lives that vanished from history. Yet the ultimate answer, whether they died in Britain, marched east, or were absorbed into another legion, remains elusive. The mystery of the Ninth Legion endures because it blends hard evidence with tantalizing gaps. We know the legion existed. We know it served in Britain and disappeared from records after 108 CE. We have inscriptions hinting at later movements, but no definitive proof of its final chapter. This uncertainty invites endless speculation, keeping the story alive in both scholarly debates and popular imagination. As we reflect on this ancient puzzle, we are reminded that history is not always a neat ledger of facts. Sometimes it is a shadowy trail of clues broken by time and human frailty. The Lost Legion of Rome challenges us to keep searching, to question assumptions, and to embrace the mystery that still lies beneath Britain's windswept hills and buried fortresses. If this journey into Rome's forgotten frontier captured your imagination, share your thoughts in the comments and subscribe for more deep dives into the mysteries of the past. Do you believe the Ninth met its end in a bloody northern rebellion, or did it march quietly into another corner of the empire, leaving only echoes in the stone walls of ancient Britain?